Okay. Let's put the... We have a chat open. Brilliant. And then we will open the other chat. Let's see, so that I can see everything you tell me, everything you say. Let's see. No. Let's do this another way around. Now I think I have it all. Let's make a bit bigger chat window so I can see what is happening. Hello! Nice to see you again. We have the same project as last week because I didn't have time to make any progress on it during this week until today. So that's why I do these lives, to take the time to actually do something. I'm good. I'm good. The weather has been nice and started a new job, and it's been a busy week, but in a good way. In a good way. How are you? It's the tapestry we're doing again, and we are in row 78, so not too much. Yeah, they are. I know. Oh, I think that the older one wouldn't appreciate being called cute, but I know what you mean. I know what you mean. Let's see. Yeah, so the whole week, crochet-wise, I was doing the cardigan for my younger daughter, so that took a turn to being a more challenging project than I thought. So she keeps adding details she wants in the cardigan, so I just keep making those. But I had to get more yarn and stuff like that, but it's coming out nice. But of course, when you do one project, the other one suffers. So I think I did like 2 rows of this one. And I left it in a very nice spot where I'm starting a new pink flower this round. So we get to add some pink coloring for this project, which is one of the best colors if you ask me, because it was I bought all the yarns blind, so I really didn't have anything but pictures of the colors, so the pink one turned out to be a very pretty one. But we are still in a section where there's a lot of white to start before we grow out the pink flower to take some space from the white yarn. But in general, this is more enjoyable project to me. I want to see this ready. We are done. It's like 300 rows we need to do, and this is row 78. So some more rows and 1/3 is done. So I'm really expecting to see that one. Hello. Wow, Indonesia, that's far away. I'm in Ireland, so there's a couple of miles or kilometers between us. You do crochet as well? I have no idea how popular crochet is around the world. It's like, I know there's different types they do in different parts of the world. So time to add some black, and then we're adding some pink finally. And let's take the black one out. And let's start the flower. So this round we're gonna have a lot of colors because we're still finishing the orange flower, the brown flower, and now we're starting the pink one, and then we're gonna have a yellow one as well in a couple of rounds. So a lot of colors going through here. And this is also the part where we start to get to the middle of the work, which is in general less white and more black and colors. So I need the pink one. Where's my pink? Here. Let's make some room. I already made one pink flower, but as you can see, we're starting another one here. And it's gonna be similar to this. We already made one. Oh, thank you, Rachel. Thank you so much. So we already made one, so we're gonna make another one of these. It's, well, slight differences, but this one. And then here is the orange one. We are finishing a couple of rounds, like maybe 5 rounds more, and it will be done. And then we have the first brown one in the middle of it, and right here we are starting to build yet another yellow flower. So we're started the leaves here, and we are going towards one of these. Hi, Lily. So yeah, pink next. And the black, and some cleaning before we go so that I don't mix all the yarns. I hate when the yarns make a mess, so I have a system for that. I keep the yarns that I use first on the right hand side, and then whenever a yarn is on the right hand side and I change color, that yarn will go on top, and the one that is on the left side will go under. So when I do that every time, they don't mix, which is how I like to keep them. So 4 pink ones, and is our start for the first pink petal of the flower. 2, 3, and 4, and then we go back to black one. Then we have some white one, black one, white one, and so on. And the first round, when you start a flower stuff, it's like a bit annoying because you have a lot of loose ends, but it's fine. Just put the black one, clean that up. Just need to remember to leave enough space so we don't have any bunching. See you later. Don't have any bunching on the way. So we do 2 white ones, 1 and 2, and when I change the color, I leave it unfinished, and then I take the new color in. That way I can create clear lines. And I also use the back loop only, and that is because I want to have the changes crisp and the lean that crochet naturally has minimum. 1, 2, 3, again black one, let's tighten that up a bit. Just 1 black one, and then we are going to back to the pink. The pink flower is quite thick, which means that we're gonna cut the yarn every round so that to make sure we don't carry it too long, because I don't want to have the bunching take me by surprise. Oh no. One. The black yarn is very annoying at times. 1, 2, and 3. Let's move the picture a little bit so you can see more clearly what we're doing. So we just finished the pink and we're going to some black and white, and then we have the orange section coming up. I usually prefer tapestry without the black lines, but with this one there's so much details that you just have to have the black. Do I have some white one attached there? I have. Just make sure you have enough yarn not to bunch it up. 3, so 1, 2, and 3. And then we are back to the black one. And this time a bit more. So we will leave the white here. I have another one coming up, which will make sure that we don't carry the white yarn too long. And also I try to look to the future as well. So if I have a color sections that go straight up, you know, like 10 rounds or so, I will always attach a new yarn piece for that. So I have these smaller ones for those. So if I have lines that are going straight up, as you can see from the picture down, I have a white section that goes down along the left side of the pink flower. So I will attach a new yarn bobbin for that. Hello, hello. Welcome. It's again a Tapestry Crochet Sunday. I think we're gonna have a few of these because this project is such a monster, to be honest. It's a bit of a monster. I love it, but it's long. It takes hours, which is also like fine. But I didn't have too much time this week to make progress on it off camera. So that's why I usually try to have the live on over the weekend, just to be accountable, you know. I have to show up and I have to do something. So it's time for orange. Maybe I should make the picture. Hello! Nice to see you all here. It's so nice when you have a lot of viewers. So I don't do it, you know, just for me. Maybe this will help you see a bit better what I'm doing. I hope. A bit closer. Just remind me if I don't remember to move it and I go past the section, because I have the picture larger in my computer. What was I doing? One black one. That was what I was doing. And even though I have a lot of light in my office, the black one is still sometimes hard to see. That one. And then we need the orange. This orange is very, very orange, but I think it fits in when you take account the like whole thingy here you're doing. So it's fine. If I would have seen it, the colors like live, I probably would have taken something a bit more muted. How to crochet a granny square, but I have a tutorial in my YouTube channel. I don't have a tutorial for the basic granny square because, well, I don't do much of those. But there's some different variations. 1 and 2. And I bet that if you look at the tutorials, maybe one too many times, you will definitely learn how to do one. I promise. I have some that have been made. The latest one I made in a way that I mean completely someone who has never done one before should be able to do it, like complete beginner. So I at least I try to explain every single stitch so that you know where, when, and why it's done. Bye! I love this type of work. Nice to see you here, Ellie. It's like, this is more like an art form, maybe, if that's the correct word. So it keeps me interested a longer time than doing something repeatable. Like I'm gonna do just this one, so I'm not gonna repeat it, so I don't allow myself to make any mistakes with it. And if I do, it's just part of the art, I guess. I still don't want to do it, but you know. Just 1, 2, 4 black ones. And also to design this is based on a logo of a band, and this is going for my daughter. So she loves the band, but it takes a lot of work to make a workable pattern out of it. So you can pixelate it, but sometimes the colors just don't, you know, it just doesn't happen the way it should. So you have to do a lot of manual labor to redesign it. And so even though I did that, and sometimes I just find, you know, please. Oh, thank you for the subscription, Jennifer. I am using a just single crochet, but to back loop only. So all the stitches are single crochet to back loop only. And it's like I try to keep that part simple because the other parts are hard. So the color changes, the design and stuff like that. So it's I try to only make one part of my work to be a hard part. 1 and 2. Now I need to change the picture so you can follow along somewhat. That's where we're going. That's a lot more intricate than I usually do. It's difficult for me to work with much smaller than 4mm crochet hook. This is a 3mm, but you can do this with 4 or even 5. Just pick a yarn that is suitable and maybe don't do 260 stitches to 300 rows. If you're taking a bigger hook and some thicker yarn, because that's gonna end up, well, you could, but that's gonna end up like a very, very, very large project. And where were I? 1 orange one. But I haven't done much tapestry crochet before, because I have a notebook full of ideas and works, and I usually start with like clothes and household items and small ones, because I also get a lot of enjoyment from finishing a project. And now my yarns are completely mixed. So I broke my own rules to keep my yarns not tangled. So I get enjoyment finishing projects. So taking on a project that will take me probably months to finish, it's love tapestries. Yeah, I mean, like, I was thinking about it for a very, very, very long time, and I was like, always like, yeah, but it will take so long, and I don't have that much time. And then I was thinking to myself that, you know, I do what I can, and that's it. If I don't ever finish it, that's fine. If I finish it in 6 months, that's also fine. And actually, two. I need 2 orange ones. So yeah, there's a lot of calculations going on. 1 and 2. And if I spot a place where stitch is going, wrong or doesn't look right, I can just change it because it's my own design, so I can, do whatever I want with it. And then there is 3 oranges. 1, 2, and 3, and 2 black ones. And yeah, we are totally getting close to the end with the orange flower, which in shape wise is one of my favorites. It took a lot of like placing those black thingies to make it look like lines, so that I have like a flower that has a lot of petals in them, because there's no shadows, of course, because it's only 2 colors. So yeah, and it's like at some point I just wanted to make like, small things like coasters. Nobody uses a coaster in my household though, so it's work for, when you love to waste your time, because nobody, no, not even me, that's not fair, not even me. I don't never ever use a coaster. But I have to wash the table anyway, so, but sometimes it's nice to make. And then I made a lot of those, like, what do you call them? The ones you wash your face with, washcloths, but smaller ones. Look, I'm working very slowly, as you can see. I have 300 rows to do, and when I'm live and I am reading the chat and talking with you guys, which I like, you keep me company, but it takes me like 25 minutes if I'm just fully concentrated on this one, and I will always double the time when I'm with you guys. So it's like, yeah, but it's still fun, but it just takes so much time, more time, because the attention is divided, but I don't mind. It's mostly talking anyway, so I don't have to do anything special. No tricks or treats or anything like that. How many? 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. No, it's not Tunisian crochet. No, it's only single crochet. Very, very simple. I promise this, but it's the only simple part of this project. But just single crochet to back loop only. That's it. I don't actually. I've been meant to learn Tunisian crochet as well, but I haven't. So I have never done any project with Tunisian crochet yet. It looks interesting though. I like the concept. But it hasn't been time yet. So it's time for the brown flower. Let's move the picture a little bit. And for the brown flower, I actually have 2 brown skeins of yarn here, so that I can do the right side before the center and the left side after it without cutting the yarn. And it's like just for me to minimize the ends. There is a lot of ends, so basically I don't know if it's worth it, because there's gonna be a lot anyway, but that's how I do it. And also with the white ones, I have many white skeins here, so if, for the white ones that go both sides of the flower, so because there's only like 2 or 3 stitches, maximum 4, so I don't want to cut the yarn, so I could just float it back to the beginning when I do another round and go from there. And so just one black, and then we go for the brown. I'm not sure how I feel about brown flower in general, but this is directly from the logo that I picked as the base for this project. Well, we will do quite a few brown ones. Even though it's the same yarn all over except the black one, this brown one has felt more thick than the others. I think I need some light. Just a second. Because I don't, for some reason, see the dark ones very well. Maybe this is better. Now I see better. Good. I was thinking that the light coming out of the window would be enough, but it wasn't. 1 and 2. And then more black. Did you make this batting yourself, or how did you do it? What do you mean by batting? Sorry. English is not my first language, though I use it a lot, but sometimes, you know, the terms are not. But if you mean the picture, yes, I did it by myself. One, two, three. One, two, and 3 black ones. Yeah. Yeah, I designed the pattern. It's based on, I can actually make it a bit smaller so you can see the full thingy. So first I tried to just convert the picture straight away, but that didn't play out very well. So this is it. And the light color is where we are at the moment. I don't know if you see it here, you see it. This is where we are. So I tried to convert it to pixel art first. And then like go from there, but it totally messed it up. But this is what we are actually doing. So Fleetwood Mac, it's not the logo. I think it's like a cover of one of their albums or something like that, if I don't remember wrong. It's for my daughter. She's a fan. So it's gonna be a tapestry wall hanging in her room. But yeah, it took quite a lot of work to make it right and suitable for crochet, because not all pixel art is suitable to be used straight away. So I tried to take on count like the stitches and the lean and the stuff like that, so we could make it a bit better. This size is gonna be good. No, it's too small. Let's make it a bit bigger. Baby blanket with Tunisian. It took a long time. It was for my grandson. Yeah, I think I've seen the project a lot and they look very nice. We need mustard color here. But I just haven't. I think I have too many projects going on at the moment. I have works in progress. I have the granny square sweater for my daughter, and then I have wool socks for myself because my socks have a hole, so I have to make a new pair. That won't take too long, but of course you have to have the time for it. I just make the basic one. That's knitting, because I don't like the crochet feeling in my socks, so I knit my socks. And then I have the granny square project with these ones. that are gonna be like a light cardigan cover up type of thing. This is also like, I've made all the squares, but I just didn't find the motivation yet to put them together. So this is this one, and it also has the like where is it? The green counterpart. Thank you, Iron Rose, for the subscription. Yeah, Carol, it's easier, way easier to do it. I use Stitch Fiddle to make the grid I have here, so it's like it's very easy to use and it's free, so it's fine to use. Doesn't take much resources. So I tried the paper thingy and I used that, you know, as a base to get forward, but and also like because I do these projects. Am I in the right place? 1, 2. Yeah. 1, 2. This is a huge one, so of course it's easy to make, you know, this look good as it's a very big one. But if you have a work that is like maybe 100 stitches and 200 rows, you have to make a bit different because this wouldn't work on that one. It would be a mess. So that's something, you know, always have to consider about the size. So I wanted to start this big one because this is a challenge and I love a challenge. So, you know, of course. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And I also find it to be easy enough to do. Then I haven't bought any. They have some for sale, like ready ones in Etsy and stuff like that, but I haven't bought any because I don't think it's too hard to make one. For example, if you want to do, I've seen a lot of those, they have been very popular, like that just have a couple of words in them, you know, hello or whatever you want to write in them. I need one. I'm gonna use the small bobbin for the center brown ones, so I don't have to cut the yarn again. So I will have to cut the mustard yellow one because there's such a big difference here where you start versus where you end, so I'm not gonna float. I have a rule like I only float maximum 10 stitches, and the 10 stitches is, well, if it's just one stitch here and there, yeah, I can break the rule, but I don't like to because it affects the work sometimes a bit too much. So I just prefer to cut rather than float too much. Which is also, I can show you the back of the work. The reason why the back of the work is very ugly for this one, but because this is wall hanging and not a blanket or anything like that, it doesn't really matter. Which is also why I love this particular piece of work, because I don't have to pay attention to the backside at all. But this is how it looks. There's a lot of yarns. And I haven't decided yet if I'm gonna weave them in, but probably not, because there is so many. But they have I just make a knot to secure them, and I'm gonna think about it when I'm done, not before that. Because I don't have to. That's also one of the reasons why I like this particular work. And that is also the reason why at the end and at the beginning I have quite long fringes, because I haven't decided yet if I'm gonna do something with them or if I'm just gonna clean them out. You will see them once we reach the end. 1 and 2 black ones. 1 more yellow. don't know why I put. Did I make 2 black ones? I made only 1. Let's make another one. And also, when you do a work that is this big, if you make a mistake, nobody's gonna notice it. So if I put this yellow to 1 to left or 1 to right, nobody would care, nobody would see. Hey, we have over 70 viewers at the moment. If you haven't, I would very much appreciate if you could subscribe. That would help my channel to grow and have some exposure. It's free. I only recently, it's been like maybe 2 months when I started my YouTube channel. I have some tutorials there already, and I try to make 1 per week, and then I try to have this live. So if you subscribe, you will also get notified when I go back live. So I don't know. Oh, this is tapestry crochet. So tapestry. There's a lot of different ways of doing it, which I highly recommend to check YouTube for different kind of techniques, because you will probably find the best one for you. And there is also mosaic crochet, which is quite similar, just a different technique, maybe more popular, I think. But me, I'm doing tapestry crochet with single crochet as my only stitch, not my major stitch, my only stitch for this work. But tapestry crochet is what you should look for if you want to do something like this. And of course, even though it says tapestry, thank you, Katrina's Crochet, Hook and Loops. I have to check out your channel as well, because I like to get inspired by all of you guys. I do a lot of different type of crochet, so it's mainly driven by my interest at that point when I'm doing what I'm doing. So I wanted to do this tapestry piece because I got inspired by another tapestry piece in TikTok. Yeah, I did make this pattern, and I don't have it anywhere, but it's available. If anyone wants to have it, I can send it. It's just I don't know where to put it, so I don't have any accounts, and I don't need money for it. I can send it to people if they want it. 1, 2, 3. Just send me a message in. Good morning. It's not morning here, though. It's 2:30 p.m. Where are you from, Katrina? Where is morning at the moment? Australia? No, USA. Sorry, I'm bad with time zones in general. And geography. My husband sometimes gives me quizzes of flags and stuff like that, but I'm so bad. 1, 2, and 3 white ones. Oh, Canada! Nice. How is the weather in Ontario at the moment? Is the autumn fully on, or we've had quite warm weather this week? Moist and warm. Good morning. So it's nice. We have an afternoon coffee session with some crochet, and you have a morning coffee session with crochet. Thank you. So it's a perfect time match. Let's move a bit to the up way this one so we can see better. It was 3 white ones and I did one extra, so let's go back a bit and then we'll take the black one in again. 1, 2, and 3. Hooks up needles, ready yarn, crochet and knit. Was it podcast? I was reading too slowly, sorry. Thank you for the subscription. Oh, you are up early. Super early. Says me who usually wakes up 5 a.m. for work when it's time to go to work, but luckily it's weekend. 1 and 2. I think I'm stopping every time I read a comment. For reading, I have to stop. For speaking, that's fine. I can speak and crochet at the same time. What I say may not make sense all the time, but mostly it does. But reading, then I have to stop. This is not a project that you can actually make your eyes closed. I've done those as well, but this is not one of them. How many blue ones? 3 blue ones. And it's also like I've done this this particular project and this picture, so I quite well know what's coming up and what I should be doing at each point. So it makes it a bit easier. Two black ones. Do I have a white one here attached? No white one, so I will take the one from the beginning, which I will have to cut anyway. Scissors. Cable blanket. Is it knitted or crocheted? Hello! How did I learn how to crochet? I've been crocheting since I was a child. I'm not that old, but I am from countryside, so that means that when I went to school, I still had to learn these things. So I was 7 years old when I first knitted a pair of socks, and from that day on, I've been just learning new things. Sometimes I had breaks in my teenage years mostly. But I also started crochet. I think I was like 12, 13. It became very popular in Finland with the effect was like even the boys were crocheting at that point, beanies and stuff. It was a huge trend. So I picked it up as well, and then I just kept going because I actually like crochet more than knitting, and over the years I've done more crochet than knitting. I'm very good at knitting as well, but crochet, I'm in that level where I can freehand a lot of stuff and, you know, make up things as I go. So I don't necessarily need any instructions anymore when I do things. So that's why it gives me more like creative freedom, creative pleasure to get some crochet done. So that's what I usually do, except for the socks. As I said, I don't like the crochet feeling in my socks. So the socks I still knit, and that one I can also do without instructions because I've done so many pairs of socks knitting that I do not need any instructions for that anymore. Yeah, well, I'm 34, so I still have a couple of years time to before I have 34 years of crochet experience, but it's still over 20 years. 15, 20, 25 years, something like that. 20 for crochet and 25 for knitting, maybe. But yeah, it's like when I went to school, it was an actual subject for girls, of course. Ha ha ha. The boys could participate, but they never did. So for girls, you had like this type of things, handiworks and stuff like that. So we learned how to knit and sew and make things like that. And the boys had like machinery and stuff like that. So it's like it feels ages ago, but it's not that far away. But still, it feels like it's a completely different world right now. And my kids are going to school, and they are now 14 and 8, and this thing is not dates to them anymore, not to boys or girls, which is, I'm a bit sad about it. They don't usually want to learn from mom necessarily everything, but my older one is now learning to crochet because she wants to make amigurumi animals for sale. All the boys know how to crochet well. I hope it's trendy again because, well, it's a good skill. It's a creative skill, which also have uses in world. I think I've done a lot of stuff with my own hands, and it. But my family also, like my mom used to sew all our clothes, and my grandma she was knitting everything and anything. So I also have like people to ask help if I need. So I don't need anymore, but they are good examples. Yeah, I think like the generations before me, they were more into knitting than crochet. Like hugely. My grandmother has never crocheted anything, but knitted a lot. Like a lot, a lot. And I think my mom was a bit of a rebel in that point, like because my grandma was knitting, she didn't want to do that. So she chose to make clothes instead, sewing. So, but she was really good at it and still is, of course. Just doing a little less of it because she liked to do kids' clothes when we were small. Those are nicer to do than, and of course, when we were teenagers, we didn't want handmade clothes anymore. Surprise, surprise. Which is stupid. But these days, my teenage daughter wants to have clothes made by me, so or by herself. But crochet tops have been huge hits this summer, so I've made like 3 or 4 for her, and she is using all of them, so that's a win. Also, a reason why I don't have too much time to do things for myself. So I always do something for my kids. And I've been like, I saw in Pinterest, I think it was an AI picture, but I saw this granny square t-shirt for men. And it was like a polo shirt type of fit. And I've been dreaming to make that one for my husband, but I haven't had time. So it's still on the to-do list. Haven't even started yet. And he said that he's not sure if he would like it, but I'm pretty sure he would. After all, he would. But now the winter is coming again. Oh, but that's great. I haven't. I don't know. That's a bit unfamiliar scene for me as well because I haven't done any fairs. Like, of course, I visit them, but I haven't, ever submitted my work to be, graded or competed in any. In Finland, they have a knitting championship, but not for crochet. I don't think so. And here in Ireland, I'm still not in the circle so well, so that I would. New plushie. Let me read. I'm 4 behind. An uncle. I don't know if I have any men in my family that had done anything like this. My grandpa used to paint and draw, so he was also like an artistic soul, but more in that way than anything yarn related. 10 years old, I think it's a good age to learn. My younger daughter is 8 at the moment, and she's been interested, but I find that she doesn't maybe have the patience to learn quite yet. Not too far away, but not quite yet. 2:30, yes. 2:30, well, not anymore, like 20 minutes to 3 p.m. So afternoon. I have some coffee here, so I will take a sip before we start row number 79. And as I told you, I usually take 25 minutes to finish one row when I actually doing it. So now it took 51 minutes of streaming to have one done, but that's not the point. The point is that I'm showing up here and I'm here with you and I'm accountable for showing up. So it's all fine. But in general, this will take a lot of time, which is something I've told myself it will. So it's gonna be a long project, but it's not my only project. So I'm making other projects, putting this away, for a week, and then taking it back on, so it feels like a new one. Yeah, that's what my older one wants to do as well. And it's like it's not only for the money, of course, that is a motivation for her, but it's like she sees these videos of people like, making a plushie and then selling it with, 10 pounds, $10, 10 euros, and she wants to do it as well because she knows she can. But they've been more of craft and also like painting is her thing, but how old is your oldest? So I can tell mine that she's not the only one. So. And I do my work only from right to left, so no back and forth going, so only the right side is being worked on. I know that's a bit weird one, but it's possible when you know how crochet works. So there is the lean, which we are minimizing by using the back loop only and yarn under rather than yarn over. And we are also losing a stitch every time from the other end because of the lean and the way the crochet works. So we have to add one stitch when we start to make sure our work is not like this, but it goes like straight from both sides. And I've done this before. It will show a little bit of lean at the start, and then I will just block it and it will be straight. This is not something I see too often, but because I am a perfectionist and the back and forth tapestry crochet leaves too much to hope for my visual eye. This is I did a lot of swatches, like smaller ones, to test out what's the best, what's the best for this project, and this was the best. I don't know if it has a certain name, this technique, but I saw at least a couple of other videos in YouTube doing it this way while I did my research. But let's call it right side only tapestry crochet. So that way I really don't have to think about the back side at all when I'm doing this. The back loop only is something, the full stitch would be easier to do, but the look of the back loop only was so much better that I chose it, even though it needs a bit more concentration. Oh, repairs. I love repairs. I'm also the repair person of our family. It's like I've seen the joke. I think it was some stand-up guy that told the joke that my wife is the man of the house, where all the like plumbers or electricians or anyone visiting tries to always talk to the husband, and the wife is the one that actually is in charge and knows, where the water heater is and stuff like that. So it's like that with us as well. So my husband's responsibility is like the electronics and like this, for this stream, for example, all the cameras and computers and everything is set up by him, and I couldn't actually do this without him, because this is a thing that I can't do. What I can do with my hands, yeah, if I can't do it, I will learn it. But when it comes to computers and IT and stuff like that, I'm not a total noob, but these are a bit too complicated, because right now I have a microphone ahead of me, I have 2 cameras, I have multiple screens I can use. You can see me or my work or my computer screen. I have a stream that is live in YouTube, and it's also in TikTok. Nobody's in TikTok, so YouTube family is my family, but just in case. So do you guys have a day off today, or is someone heading to work on Sunday? I had an evening shift yesterday, so I slept long and hard today. The Irish weather is making it hard to sleep, because in the evening and nights are very cold already, but the mornings and the daytime, when the sun starts shining, it gets hot. So first you go to sleep, you need a thick blanket, and then when the sun is shining through your bedroom window, you start to boil around 7:30 a.m. A pink flower coming up. I truly, truly, truly love this pink. It's the best color I chose for this work. It's like a dusty pink, I think the name was. I think I'm gonna do some other project with it as well. So here we can see that the difference between where the pink, where is my yarn here, ended and where I need it now is very long. So this is like 20 stitches. Hello, Alison, and thank you for the subscription. So I will cut this one and start over from here, because I don't want to carry the yarn that long or float it that long. So this will just end up being one end more that I have to, and then I just secure it with not too tight, because then it will be hard to work with, but just to make sure that it doesn't run away from me. But that's all I do at this point. So if I am in the future, we will see how things go, but I'm not gonna weave them in. That's basically impossible, because there is so many. but I make the knots so that I can open them if I want to, but probably maybe I sew in a backing or something. Yeah, the humidity is like crazy. Yeah, that's the same one as we have right now. So it's like it feels so much hotter than it actually is because the humidity it's sipping inside as well. So yeah, yeah, that's the exact same thing we have. Black one, black one. I love fall very much. It's my favorite season. I'm not a fan of like hot weather at all, but I'm also not fan of like too cold weather. As I am from Finland, I am familiar with like extreme heat and extreme cold. So Ireland, weather-wise, is a quite good place for me, to be honest. It's usually never too cold and never too hot here. There are exceptions, but usually. Oh, pink. And the pink keeps growing once we go further. So the pink flower is the biggest one we have in this tapestry. And also my favorite. Five and six. Cooler. Yeah. Hello. Let's move that a little bit so I can see it better. Like that. Yeah. And I also, when I take a yarn that comes from behind, I also make a lot of space here so that I actually have enough yarn to not make it bunch. Because especially the black one, it's a bit thinner because I wanted to create an like a feel of depth in it so that the black yarn is a little bit behind and the other ones are a little bit more up. Hello, JC fan. Thank you. And welcome. I love it when new people arrive. It's the best thing. My yarn is mixed again. This is... Okay, now I know. The yarn mixing is something that never happens when I do this off stream. So maybe me speaking is the thing that takes the attention away just from that. Maybe. One. Yeah, so because the black one is a bit thinner, it is sometimes very hard to find the correct stitch with the black one. Three and more black. It's I don't know if it's a but yeah, it is relaxing because it's not that I could think of many other things that give me stress while I do this. So I do have to like actually pay attention because if I do like just, normal blankets or afghans that do not need so much attention. I know the stitches, and I could do them with my eyes closed. That is not relaxing, because my mind goes to things that are undone and stuff like that. So basically, yeah, it takes a lot of concentration to do this, but it also takes my mind off of things that are, laundry, dishes, stuff like that. Yeah, I'm using cotton yarn. This is 100% cotton. This is, of course, European yarn, but I have French cotton 8.4, and this is for crochet hook size 3 to 3.5 millimeters, so US size D to E4, if that's correct. So basically, the yarns for this project cost almost nothing. So I have a bunch of yarn I can show you. I didn't know how much this would eat yarn. Of course, I now know, and I also know that I have way too much of it. So let's see here. So behind me here are all the colors, and I just took a lot of white and a lot of black, because those are the major colors, and then I took 2 of everything else, and I'm not gonna use that much, so I can do something else with them. Just I think the yarns were like less than 50 euros, because they are cotton yarn and they were for sale, so it was like maybe 95 cents per one, something like that. It was basically nothing. So it's not like I like to work with wool and stuff like that, but for this wall hanging project, I don't see any point to, it's not bad thing to use better yarn, but it also, I don't think that it's necessary. Salah, thank you for the subscription. It's from Amazon. What are you using the granny squares? Which one? Oh, the ones on the blocking board. It's gonna be, and it's still on the blocking board, because it's for me. I've done some testing to join them as well, but this is gonna be a light cardigan, like a long one, but light, because it has a lot of, you see, it's a lot of holes, like airy, on purpose. So it's a basic granny square, but it has, instead of chain 1 between each cluster, I chain 3 to have it more like airy. So it will be a long cardigan for me. Yeah. And then I have, this is one of the projects, and I don't know if you can see, there is more squares. This is, no, I have to get up. I don't know if I have some yarn attached to it, but this is almost ready. It's also a cardigan. This one is gonna come with a tutorial as soon as it's ready. So yeah, this is for my smaller daughter, so it's only like I'm doing the rib here at the moment, and after that it's gonna be ready. There is a video about the square itself already, but yeah, this is my favorite. No, you can't ever have too much yarn. And I just I have more yarn, but it's I don't have enough room here, so basically what yarn I have here is always something I'm working with, so that's it. The tapestry, I don't know. Let me have, I think I have a measuring tape here. It's not too big. It's just a lot of stitches, but I'm using a very small hook. Let's take inches first. It is, yeah, it is 33 inches wide, and it is 11 inches tall at the moment. And then in centimeters, it is 85 centimeters time 28. And that's it. Yeah, the cardigan is like, it's very, 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 very nice. It was first supposed to be a vest. Then she wanted the cardigan. And then she wanted an oversized cardigan with drop shoulders and very long sleeves. And then she wanted a very, very wide ribbing on the bottom. And then she wanted, first she didn't want any closure on it. And now she wanted some buttons. So it's been growing to be a bigger and bigger and bigger work. But it's going to be ready. I have a day off tomorrow. So I have scheduled some time to finish the ribbing. And then it will be done. So it's just that I haven't done yet, and then it's over. I have over 500 crochet hooks. That's a lot. What's your favorite? Because now I feel like you have experience with crochet hooks, Katrina. So please tell me, what is your absolute favorite crochet hook? And I might test that one out. Yeah, I will. I'm also gonna make one long hexagon cardigan. That's for the older one because she wants to have one of those. So who am I to say no? So I'm gonna make her one. One. We made one too many. So here we will start with the black one. So I will have to check your tutorial out. I haven't decided the colors for that one yet. She's into like muted 70s color type of thing, like, you know, mustard yellow and browns and stuff like that. So, and she's here. That's my daughter laughing at me. Few favorites. Clovers are good. Yeah, I also like clover. I also like it. Let's recalibrate this one now. Too much loose thingies going around. So 1, 2, 3, and 4 white ones, and 10 black one. But yeah, I usually have a lot of working projects. Also have wool socks that I'm doing, but they are downstairs because I was doing them while I ate breakfast. So they are not here. Pink. I need to make a new pair because mine is broken. See you later. It was nice to have you here. Two, 3, and 4. And I also like to have, I know not everyone. Hello and welcome. First timers, always welcome. It's like, I like to have a lot of work in progress. And I also want to have different caliber project, if that makes sense. Like, I want to have one fast project that is easy to pick up if you have like 15 minutes, you know, while you're having a cup of coffee or something like that. And then I like to have a bit more challenging project like this one I have. And then I usually have some, if you can say, useful, like you know, household items or stuff like that. So it's how I do it. And thank you for the subscription. I will have to go through this because I will pay you all the favor back because I want to see what you're doing. So I'm gonna spy all of your creations. Like, I didn't have enough work in project progress already, but I usually start new projects when I get inspired by something. A picture, or those kids of mine send me something from Pinterest and ask if you can do it. I'm like, I don't know. And then I'm like, yeah, hell, of course I can. Just give me the picture and I do it. That's usually how it goes. Then I order a shit ton of yarn, usually too much, just to be sure that I don't, you know, have too little of it or run out of it. That's the important part, not to run out of the yarn ever. But I did with the pink and green cardigan though, because it changed. It became larger and larger and larger project all the time. Two, three, and that's 4. I think I have white one here. Yes, I do. So yeah, apparently I make a mess of the yarns when I'm streaming, so I don't have enough attention molecules in my brain to give everything to everyone, so. But that's fine. Completely fine. My color changes are I think that the simplicity of it is the like reason why they are so clean, is that I think I need to make that a bit bigger so you can actually see what I'm doing with the color change. Maybe this is big enough. Maybe a little bit bigger. Oh, I will do the black part. You will see it better with the white to black change rather than this one, because this is challenging to film when it's black you're doing, so you don't really see what I'm doing. But my color change is, I don't know if it's like the so-called correct way of doing it, and it's definitely not that, but it's working for this project where it really doesn't matter how the back looks. So my color change is that I leave these 2 from the last white stitch on my hook. This yarn, this white one, will go under my middle finger here, so it keeps nice and tight. And then I have the new yarn, which will go under my middle finger here. So now I have both the new yarn and the old one behind this finger tightly. And this way I can just easily keep working with the yarn. That's how I do color changes. And of course, if floating, you don't have to do anything with it. If you are not floating, you may have to do some knots or stuff like that to keep it nice and tight. But that's all I do. So I don't do anything else. That's it. That's it. For me, at least, it's a very, very, very working method for this project. But if you need something that has a nicer, because this is how it gonna look. This is a wall hanging, so it doesn't matter what I have here, so nobody will see it. But if I would be doing like a blanket or something like that, I would probably come up with a different tactic to have these a little nicer. But for this one, like, just keep them tight and that's it, and then tie them off, then you'll be good. So yeah, orange. And the orange is attached to last round as well. So I will cut it to start from the right again. And I will also make a little knot here to keep it secured. Just not too much, just to make sure it stays where it should be. And then we can start again with the orange. Also, when I attach a new yarn, I just behind the middle finger, behind the job with the black one, then I can just tighten them both and keep working. One, two, and 3 orange ones. And also what is contributing to the colors and the color changes being so in line is the fact that I only work from right to left, so only right side, so they actually line up straight. If there's a straight line of black, it will be a straight line in my work. So whether it's this way or this way, it will be a straight line, so it doesn't have any zigzag movement that it might have if you were to work from both front and back side. And don't worry, you can always ask questions if you have any. I try my best to answer. But as usual, my answer might not be the same answer you get from a so-called real professional or from a book or from a teacher, because I do this for fun. And for me, what matters is the end result. So every time somebody asks me how to do it, I will ask them how they would like to do it and see if it can be done that way. And if it can, then that's good. If it looks like you want it to look, that's correct. And if it doesn't, then you try something else. If it's done so-called correctly, I don't think anyone cares. And that's what I live by. I don't want to say that the way I do things is the correct way and everyone should do it. To be honest, nobody has to do things the way I do. If you like the end result, it's correct. Sometimes there are comments that this is not how you supposed to do it in the videos or someone else's videos. I've also seen it, and I would never leave a comment like that to anyone, because there's no one right way of doing things. It's not how crafts, crochet, knitting, and art works. If you make an item you're gonna use, if it's usable, it's made correctly. If you're making an item you're gonna look at and it looks like you want it to look, it's correct again. And it's always beneficial to learn the techniques to do things, but when you know the techniques, it's more than fine to implement them in the way you want to implement them. 3. Oh, one too many. Back to orange. I am thinking about making also like tapestry crochet video tutorial if you want to, just to show how I make it. So if you want to, you can use a similar tactics and ways of doing things. But I haven't done it yet because sometimes I am a bit lazy. I prefer the lives over videos because it's so nice to talk with everyone. And when I'm doing a video, I'm just talk by myself. Let's move that a little bit again. We are halfway through this round again. Yes. Yes, absolutely. And now black one until we come to the edge. Also, when you work right side only, you don't always have to. I don't have any stitch markers, or I don't calculate any stitches anymore. It's like it's easier to see now that your black should end at the same spot where your black ended last round, or make one more black stitch compared to the last round. So it's actually very, very, very nice way of doing it. So of course I had to first calculate that I started the pattern in right place to make sure it fits the, come on, it fits the canvas I have then, and that if I have to calculate something, I am able to do that later. But within the last 50 rounds, I have not calculated more than how many I have to do. And that's basically, yeah, I need to do one black and that's it. If I go back and forth, then I actually have to, well, not all the time calculate, but most of the time to know where I'm going, what I'm doing. Because the back and the front side look a bit different. So brown flower up next. 2, 3, and 4. The color combination of the black flower, the brown flower is also very simple. There's brown, then there's mustard yellow, which is not mustard yellow, to be honest. I bought it and the name of the color is mustard yellow, but I have different, this is very bright to be mustard, but that's fine, I guess. It looks okay still, even with yellow. For me, this is yellow. There is one white yarn going all over the place. I will move it. I wonder if anyone from my own family is still listening, and if you are, I would like to have a cup of coffee. If you're not, that's fine, but just if you are. Then we do quite a lot of black. So we are in the middle of the flower. No, you heard me. Make me a coffee. Yeah, it might be. Though the name in the pattern, it's like, of course, the pattern is made with computer, so the colors are not exactly, but what I ordered, what I wanted it to be was a mustard yellow. That was the closest one I found from the program I used. And it's definitely not the correct one, but what I ordered from the store, because I wanted mustard yellow, but this is called mustard yellow, but I don't see it as one. So 1, 2, 3, 4. We are making 2 mustard ones. And it's again too long to float for me, my rules. If you are floating your yarns like a master and that's your way to go, just do it. But this is over my personal 10 stitches of floating limit. So I'm not gonna float it. And we only need 2 yellow at this point. 1 and 2. And then some more black. And the brown one we had a bobbin now to make the middle part of the brown without cutting the yarn in between. It's here. So I know people use a lot of stuff like this, but I'm a bit lazy and I like to repurpose things as well. So this is one of these, what do you call it? The sleeve? Is it sleeve? But this one just rolled and then I cut a little bit here so I have place to stop the yarn. Because it doesn't have to be too complicated or too fancy if you don't want it. People also use those, my English is failing me again today, the ones you use to put your laundry, to secure your laundry into the racks outside usually. The word doesn't come to mind, but yeah, that's what many people use as well. So back to the black one. Two black ones. 1 and 2. And then some yellow. Yellow. Yeah, but the colors are always difficult if you buy yarns online. But these yarns, they were for sale, so I kind of wanted to have them because they were the least expensive yarns I could find as 100% cotton. And when you order online, you kind of take the risk that the color is not as it seems in the screen and also sometimes not as it says. So like I found, yeah, those clothespins, yes, because then it's easy to snap it a bit and put the yarn there. But me, I use all the scrap I have, so no leftovers here. And 3. 1 and 2. Do you guys also stream at times or make videos or stuff like that? Hey, coffee! You can take this. Thank you. Thank you. Very beautiful. Of course, you don't see it. Dragon Ball Z cup arrived with full of coffee. So they are listening. The bag is a mess, Katie. It's really a mess, but it's intentional mess. So this particular piece is wall hanging piece, so I hadn't paid much attention to the backside. As long as the end of the yarns are secured, I'm good with it. I'm pretty sure I'm gonna sew in a backing to this one, maybe. But I will also like, thank you Annie for the follow, thank you. But this will also like, perhaps I'll even like this. I will probably just put it up to the wall and see if I can, from the front side see some of the yarn clusters or something. But it's like, this is not the best technique if you're going to make a throw blanket or something like that, because these are not pretty, but they are good for this particular project. So I save a lot of time when I don't have to think about this, and this takes a lot of time anyway, so I'm quite happy about it. But it's not pretty. It's not pretty. And it's not meant to be. I'm not trying to make it pretty, so. One, two, three, and four, and black again. It would take me even more time than this thing is now like taking if I wanted to have the back as well cleaned and nice. But the front is very, very, very nice. And it's doing it is more enjoyable when you can pay all your attention to this side rather than the other side. Thank you so much. Thank you. I don't know if I'm gonna be here much longer. I usually have attention span of 2 hours, so I might be gone, but we are back next Sunday. So I truly, truly hope to see you again. And have a great Sunday. One, two, and three white ones. Yeah, Bonnie, welcome. Everyone new is also very, very, very welcomed, and I always recommend subscribing so you see when we are here next time as well. But I would say, Bonnie, if you want to start with Tapestry crochet, just go to YouTube and type in Tapestry crochet. You are gonna see a lot and a lot of different ways of doing it, and just test them out. Don't necessarily start with the 80,000 stitch project right away. I would go with something a bit smaller to test which style is the best for you and which you like the most, and then go with that. And then when you have a little bit of skills and training, then you can start designing your pictures yourself, and you can do whatever you want. I have this goal. I don't have posters in my home because I don't really like posters, but it's like wherever one would actually have a poster, I would have a tapestry piece. So I will have to make quite many of these, but that's like what I want to do. So I want to bring tapestry back in my home. Like my grandmother used to have a lot of different tapestries, and my mom is a poster generation, and so far I've been clean walls generation, but I truly would like to have tapestry pieces in my house. Basically in every room. Thank you. Is it pronounced Afaf? For the subscription. One and two. So more artwork for my home. That's the end goal. That's what we're doing. Let's move the picture a little bit. I have too much stuff in my table. Like this. We're heading towards the end. There's again a lot of white at the end, still at this point. But it will be fine. Just boring to look at, maybe. Two black ones, and then we have blue. I think I'm gonna float the blue one a little bit more than I would usually like, but that's because I only have one blue in the picture anymore at this point. So I have one blue here. So I don't want to cut the yarn to have this, just this done. So this is one of the places where I make exceptions for the floating rules of 10, no more than 10. So it's like, you just have to check how you want to do it. Just have to make sure that you have enough yarn so that it doesn't bunch. But in general, I think the bunching is something that might happen even after, or even at the point where you're blocking your work. If the other yarns give up a lot and stretch, and then you have like these floaters going there that are bunching the work back. So that's, I don't want it. So I try to avoid it. 1, 2, and 3. Now I calculated something wrong because this doesn't not fit. So 1 and then 2 greens, then 1, 2 blacks, then 2 blue ones. So I must have calculated wrongly last round. 1, 2, 3. No, it's correct. I'm just tripping. 1, 2, and 3. And we don't have white yarn here ready to be used, so we will pick up the one from the early rounds that needs to be cut anyway. Scissors. Thank you. I try not to toot my own horn, but I do like this as well. This is turning out better than I ever expected. Like ever expected. This was like a test round, and I thought that I'm gonna do a couple of rounds and see how it goes, and if it's awful I'm just stop doing it. But it's been great. I love it so far, and that gives me motivation to actually finish it as well. And then black one. And just one black, then the last blue of this. Make sure I have enough yarn again, because I floated it back to this side. Just making sure it doesn't pinch anywhere. In this, it's a fine line to have too much and not too little yarn when you float. So that is also the reason why I don't float too much, because it gets harder and harder the further you go. So if you float like, let's say 20 stitches, it's gonna be very hard to say if you have enough or too much yarn your floating, and then some black one, and then we will speed to the end with the white yarn. Three, 4, and one more, so we have 5, and then some white. So yeah, we are getting to the point where we are growing the circle that is going to be in the middle of this work, which will eventually reduce the amount of white we're using. You're very welcome, Bonnie. I have a lot of tutorials, but I don't have tapestry tutorials yet because I consider myself still practicing this one. And this is actually a first big project I've ever done with tapestry. So what I did, I've never done a piece before. And what I did to start was I watched a lot of YouTube videos with from different creators, and I did little tiny swatches from different styles to see which one would suit me and the project I'm doing. So I did just one flower with different styles, and this one is the one that came out as a winner. So to be fair, I've crocheted a lot, so it's not like this is my first project ever, but it is my first large scale tapestry crochet project. So I will make a tutorial for this particular style at some point when I feel confident enough, probably after I finish this project, so I can use it as an example and then do a little bit smaller work so you can see how I did it and how it behaves. But if you want to start right now, there are easier ways to do this than this one I chose, and it highly depends what you're gonna do and what you want to do. So this style where I only go right to left, where I only use single crochet and back loop only and yarn under, is much more complicated than if I would do a simple project that had like maybe hello written to it. I would probably do double crochet back and forth with just 2 colors. That's a completely different project compared to this. And also someone else might do this project differently, and that would be just as correct. And even I don't know yet how I'm gonna finish this job, so there's a lot of question marks still. But the truth is that I'm just enjoying making this at the moment, and I will think about the cleanup of this project when it's actually done. And before then, I don't have to do it, so I will not. And one more. The ending stitch is always tries to run away, so you have to just find it. It's the same with the starting one. But you learn to see where it is quite fast. So I've left a lot of yarn to the end and the start of the project because I have these fringes, of course, here because I stopped the round every time. So I don't know if I'm gonna, these are on the sides, so if they were on top or at the bottom, it would be easy to leave them at the bottom and, you know, just be fringes. And to be honest, if I was now starting this project, I would do it not from up to down, but from right to left. So I would just turn to work because it would make it a lot nicer to have those fringes at the bottom of the work. So we did 2 rounds, almost wasted 1 hour per round, which is what we do. I do not accept people joining the lives with me, unfortunately. So that's not something I do. And the project is here. I will cut some ends and so I can lift it up. I will secure the yarns and I will show you where we at the moment. So the brown one and that one, they will stay. This will stay as well. This is secured. The black one will not stay, so we can cut it. And then we will just tie it in with the black one from the last round. And I just make a little knot here. Nothing too complicated, just to secure them. And actually in a way that if I come up with a different plan, I can open these. So I don't make them too tight. Also, the mustard yellow will have to also go, because I will start that over. There's too much to float here. And I will also just tie it up with the mustard color from last round. The brown ones will stay. And this one will stay, this one will stay, the orange one will go. Because we will start that orange flower once again at the start of the next round. The white one is gone already. And the pink one will now also go, because the pink flower is growing, so we will be starting much earlier, so the floating limit of 10 stitches is also gonna be exceeded. White, 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 and white. Testing. Yes, now we can lift it. I will move the microphone, don't be too bothered by the sounds. And let's see, this camera angle should be able to show our work quite well. So this is what we have done so far. This is 1/4 of the job done. There is a lot of flowers ready, almost ready. And still here at the top, my very favorite, the pink one. I do like the orange one as well. I think it looks very good. The yellow ones are, I should have made them a bit bigger, to be honest. But let's see how they look when the work is actually finished. Here we are making the yet another pink flower. This we will finish, the brown one, and here we have started yet another yellow flower will come here. It's similar to this one. Thank you for the subscription. Thank you, thank you. So yeah, that's about it. Do you have any questions? I still have a couple of minutes and then I'm gonna just go and enjoy my coffee outside with a little bit of sunshine. And oh, sorry, I hope you can still hear me. And next Sunday we will be back. So if you haven't subscribed yet, please do that so you get notified when we go live. And I try to have this like afternoonish in my time. I'm in Ireland time when I stream. So, but because I have a life and a work and a family, sometimes the time changes. So that's why I always encourage you to subscribe so you get the notification, because no promises that I would be here at the same time every week. Also, next week we have a tutorial coming out. Let me show you if you didn't see already. Most of you did. For the cardigan, granny square cardigan, that is almost ready. I just have the ribbing here that is not finished. This is for my daughter. So the square is already. There's the tutorial in YouTube for the square if you want to do that and use it for something else. That's coming up next week. So I'm gonna finish it tomorrow and then the video will be out day or two later, depending on how much time I have to finish it. And what else? That's about it. I'm gonna check all of your projects you're doing, and I'm gonna be the one very actively commenting on your videos. And it's so nice to have you all here as usual. And thank you so much for being here. Thank you for all the subscriptions and even more subscriptions. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. And we will see you all next week.